I'm here with the GCBN platform, and I have on the Zoom side, I have Julie Mills Watson, who's going to be presenting for us today on the Living Well Wednesday platform. And I have Jeanette Lasky, who's always so faithful to be here on the Zoom side with us. And so we're glad to have them. If you're on the Facebook side or the Instagram side, not Instagram, LinkedIn or YouTube, let us know you're there. If you have any questions or any commentary, you can share that and I'll bring it over to Julie so that she can engage with you that way. If it is something that you're really energized about and you're hearing some new things, share this out and let your friends be able to hear and be part as well. So for those of you that don't know, we have an acronym. And I don't know if you can see this, but we have an acronym that Miss Beth does every year. God gives her this acronym and he kind of walks it out in her life before she even presents it to us. And this year, our acronym is SHIFT. And we've already covered a lot of the shift in the first part of the month, the first 6 months of the year. And so now we're kind of going back through and doing it again. So the S is surrender style systems, and that's your belief system, your operating system, your regulating system, and your navigating system. The H in shift is heighten your heartbeat for him. The I is ignite intentional and influential impact. And the F is faith forward, future focus, and forgive. And then T is transition truth to trust. And today we have Julie on with us. Julie is going to be talking about when you lead yourself well, everything else begins to change. And so Julie, will you tell us who you are? We're glad that you're here with us today. And can you also just share a little bit of your GCBN story? It could be how you found us. It could be what you love about us. It could be why you stay. Whatever you want to share there.
Well, hey, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm Julie Mills Watson, and I've been in the wellness industry for about 20 years, focusing mainly on massage and lymphatic therapies. I also am a wellness coordinator with the Juice Plus company and with LifeWave patches. So I always love to give people tools so that they can keep healthy at home. Um, I have been with GCBN for 5 years, I guess. And the reason I love it is because when we meet in person, especially the other people that are there actually help encourage and coach when you have opportunities to speak. And it has really helped me grow. So it's more than a networking. It is about locking arms and helping each other grow our businesses. And we support one another as well. So that's why I really love it.
That's so awesome. Okay, I'm going to get us live over on the chat side, the group sides, if I can use my words, on the groups. And Julie, if you want to go ahead and dive into your presentation today. Jeanette, would you like to introduce yourself since you're here with us today?
Sure. I'm Jeanette Lasky. I'm a massage therapist. I'm expert level myofascial therapy, which is what keeps your body stuck together, right? If it's tension or repetitive motion, that fascia thickens and it gets tight and pulls you in all kinds of different uneven balances. So I help people with stuck patterns, emotional, mental, and physical.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for joining us today. All right, Julie, take it away.
Okay, so we were talking about personal leadership, and uh, I'm trying to think of the best way to jump into this, but some of you know my story, some of you do not. But um, there was a moment in time that really changed everything for me. My late husband was healthy, active, serving in the military, and was suddenly diagnosed with a brain tumor. So everything shifted overnight. The fear was constant, the stress was overwhelming. And as a mom of three, I didn't have an option to fall apart. So that's why this really hits home with me, this subject about personal leadership, is because internally, my body I wanted to carry on, but my body had anxiety, the pressure, the unknown, and it kept score. It kept score, even though I was trying to go forward. My heart was under pressure. My nervous system was on high alert. My gut was affected. And even though I was pushing through, Things happened. And so I couldn't control the diagnosis, but I could take responsibility for how I was leading myself through it. And we're talking about a crisis situation, so of course there's going to be fight or flight and all of that. I actually, TMI, but I actually had, IBS, the diarrhea, the dehydration, because you forget to drink water. You get headaches, lack of sleep, and I actually ended up developing shingles. So your body absolutely responds to that. And so my focus today is to take responsibility for how you respond to the stress. So it starts with you. This was I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Um, I had written some notes and I just don't want to skip them because I want you to be a part of this. And
No, you're fine. You're doing great, Julie. You're good.
Okay. So mine was a crisis with a diagnosis, but many people might have other things like taking care of an aging parent. That's a lot. And uh, Jessica, who does the wellness Living Well Wednesdays, also talks about that. Completing a degree or a certificate, um, being a project manager for work, putting out fires 24/7, and just being a mom and homeschooling. I mean, that's not a just, but I mean, it's huge and it's constant, and there's demand on you all the time. So start thinking about that. And I also had a question for you. Where in uh, your life do you feel out of control right now? And how is that showing up in your body? So, y'all want to talk about that for a minute?
No, I'm just kidding. Listen, Julie, I just got to be 1,000% transparent. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I was, or maybe the night before. I was like, John, I don't know if I'm having like a panic attack. I don't know if I'm just stressed. Like, I don't know if I'm having a heart attack. Like, he's like, are you okay? We need to go to the ER right now. Like, I think I'm okay. Like, I don't think we need to, but I'm just telling you, like, it just feels like lots of pressure, lots of stress, lots of, just things and day to day. And you mentioned some of those positions, those jobs and I am just a stay-at-home mom, but somebody asked me today, he said, do you work? And I'm like, I actually do work. I work at home. I have a home-based business. I have two children. I have two dogs. One is a puppy. I work for Miss Beth. I have clients that I work with. I'm very active in my husband's squadron, even though like I'm not in the military anymore, but like we do things all the time and we have events and activities. And today I was at the Air Force coined our airmen today as part of the graduation ceremony, and so I was there and just different things. And so you are so right. And when I said no, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, okay, God, am I supposed to be right here on this call today? You can like things show up in your body, like just breathing. Just like, did I even breathe today, or did I even take a breath? Did I drink my water? Did I take a walk? And then you put into that too, if one of your children have, and most children today have some type of, neurodivergence or some kind of ADD or some kind of something. So then you add that to it too, on top of an already heavy load, for just a stay-at-home mom. That can be that can be very challenging. So no, I don't want to talk about it. But like I feel like we need to talk about it. So help us. What do we do?
Well, there's scripture, Proverbs
Oh, yes.
4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And, just take a breath right now. Realize where you are. I think you are saying just the perfect thing in that, wait a minute. That's the key word is wait a minute. So we have these wonderful things, smartwatches, that we can program to remind us to do simple things. And I know we've probably talked about this a million times, but this is part of leadership. This is part of action instead of reaction on life in general. Life is going to throw you different stumbling blocks. I was military wife as well, at home mom, and my husband was out to sea 6 months at a time. And so, we had to manage everything. And, what are your outlets? How do you release that? How do you take charge of that? And mine was, I made sure the kids went to bed. That was huge to me. Bedtime was huge because then I had at least a couple of hours to myself at night. So I was a Nazi man. They had to get in that bed so I could get something done. I didn't know anything about nutrition back then. So just getting them fed was an accomplishment. But I did have to let housework go. I never have been real big into it. I mean, if the bed's made okay or not, but picking up the toys and doing the laundry and all those things, just getting them in and out of the dryer was a huge issue. So, folding was another whole thing. So, you have to let some things go. It's not going to always be perfect, but how are you going to lead that? So we're going to jump into the heart, and how that is affected. I'm going to give you a couple of stats. Heart disease, of course, is the number one cause of death in the United States. 1 in 5 deaths is heart related. A heart attack happens about every 40 seconds. All right, this isn't just medical, it's a personal leadership because many causes are tied to our daily choices. And we've already talked about these many times before, with this nutrition, movement, managing stress. Okay, we've heard all of this, and just I want to come at it from another way, in that realize the effect that it is having on your body, and it is your own decision to make changes. So it can cause, of course, blood pressure rises, inflammation increases. Inflammation is the number one cause of disease. The heart stays under strain, and the gut bacteria is imbalanced. And so many of these are related to your daily habits. So ask yourself, am I reacting to life or leading myself through it?
And Julie, I have to stop you here because I think that we can lead in various different ways depending on who you are. But I'm just speaking for Lisa because that's who I know the best. Is that we can take on so many things and lead in so many other areas that we are pushing things to the side, our health, our nutrition, our movement, and then when things start to mount up, right, then it's like a dinosaur's chasing you or like a tiger's chasing you, and you're in that fight or flight state. And so I feel like it's important for us to address that now, whether you own a business, whether you're in corporate, whether you're in ministry, whether you're a GCBN member, whether you're not. Like, these are things that when Julie says it's personal leadership, it doesn't mean that you're not leading in other areas. What she's saying is we are leading in other areas and we're not personally, right, taking this on because you are in charge of you. And it's not a beat down. We're not trying to be ugly, but like, it's a realization. Julie wants to lovingly shake us and say, listen, it's your life. It's your legacy, your future, your children need you, your family needs you. So we need you to take this seriously, personally, for you to take care of that. Set your watch, fill your bottles of water the night before so you have them on the counter. You know how many you're supposed to drink in the day. Those are just things that I've been doing. And when it dings and says stand up, like literally take a walk, go outside, get some fresh air. I saw a thing on one of the streams, and it said, when you look out at a horizon, whether it's a beach or a mountain scene, but you're looking out and you're focusing out and away, that it calms you. It's like your parasympathetic system takes over. But when you're focusing on something or you're reading something or you're looking at something, it's more of your fight or flight starts to take over. So if you're starting to get in that fight or flight, go outside and look outside, look at the distance, find a farm, I don't know, go to the beach, but like look out away from the situation that you have at the moment. So I just wanted to share that.
Oh my gosh, this so hits home because just yesterday, this is a stressful thing. I'm trying to get my 87-year-old mom another phone. Okay. Y'all ever go to those phone places? It's hours. It takes forever. And they're asking you a million questions. You have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what these speed things are and all the storage. I don't know. I don't know. I want the cheapest thing for her that's going to do the basic thing. Ended up taking us 2.5 hours, and it still wasn't done. We were starving. We had to leave and come back. Then I had to program her phone because she's got some cognitive things so that she only has access to a few things. It didn't work. Here we've spent $600 on a phone that I was supposed to be able to put that in. So I've got to do another whole thing today, but you're right. What I had to do is put it down and walk away because I was so stressed and I was in that total frustration that I couldn't even think straight. And putting it down and walking away made a world of difference. So it works.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
love that. I love that you said like go out and look at the horizon. Our pastor says it's the gospel of 45 degrees. Go
Mhm.
out and look up to God.
Oh, really?
Walk outside and look up.
I love that.
Good.
I will think I'm stealing that from you. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
he has a big story about the plumber who actually told him that. The plumber that was, preaching the gospel of 45 degrees.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Good.
So true.
So it says in Proverbs 17:22, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. So I think that's really important. The next subject we're going to approach is the gut-brain axis and how stress is connected to that. And that's a new term these days is gut-brain axis. So what they're discovering, which of course I've been saying for years, and I'm sure Jeanette has too, is that your gut matters and what you eat matters, and it affects the brain. We have a lot of I guess neuro things that are happening with our kids and with our aging parents.
Mhm.
I mean, when I was younger, you rarely heard of someone with dementia, and now it's when are you going to get it, not if you're going to get it.
Right.
And I actually looked at an MRI of my mom, and she has that white matter on her brain. And you just think over the years, what has she been exposed to and what caused that? And of
Mhm.
course, they're trying to figure that out, but you just didn't see it years ago. So it does make a big difference, I think.
Yeah, I've heard the gut is like your second brain. That's
It
what I've heard.
is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. They're
But we
always
don't think about it that way. We just think about, oh, it just processes our food. It just,
Mhm.
but it really is. It's important what we put in it.
It really is. So when you're stressed, your digestion slows down, your gut health shifts, and inflammation rises. And I was telling you about IBS. How many people have IBS?
Mhm.
That is all due to stress. And then think about what that's doing to your brain. What it does to the brain is when it sends signal back to the brain, it gives you anxiety, brain fog, and fatigue.
Mhm.
So think about that. You're not just tired just because, but it could be because of stress, what's happening in the gut is affecting that. And I think a good example, okay, here's a loop. Stress hits, the body responds, the gut is affected, the brain feels it, and you keep going without addressing it.
Mhm.
And this is a good example of what Tommy did, my late husband. I'm not saying this caused the brain tumors. I'm just saying that he was under a lot of stress. He flew F-14s off of the carriers and he had a squadron that he was in charge of. So there was a lot of different responsibilities and stress with that,
Mhm.
from lack of sleep to terrible food to what's in their water on those carriers, who knows, to just being able to land on a postage stamp in the middle of the ocean. So I believe that his immune was down, and then it allowed other biological things to happen, which caused a brain tumor. So that's a Julieism. I can't prove that, but I think it's a good example to show he was tough. He kept, and I think most people think that I'm weak if I take care of myself. Actually, you're a weak leader if you don't
Right.
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But that is our mentality in the US, especially. Gosh, you should see the Japanese. They do, their exercises before they get going, and they definitely take time to eat, and they're so clean and
They
totally
drink hot
opposite of
tea
us.
instead of cold tea, like
Yes, so
because of
it's
the
it's
gut.
there is something to be said of that, about that, and how we look at it,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, we're
as
like grinders. The US is like, we just got to grind, girl power, boy power. Like, let's just, we can push it out. We can rush it. We can, and to gain what? I guess that's the question. Why are we drilling ourselves down? What are we gaining in the end? I
when
feel
we
like
could
my
be.
dad,
Go ahead.
I feel like my dad, he worked for the US government for 30 something years, and just his timing, he was like, I'll stay a little bit longer. He should have retired, I think, like in November. He's like, I'm just going to stay till March. It'll add some more points to my system. I don't even know what that means, but I guess he got more pay, and he had a massive heart attack in October and never saw his entire retirement. So I tell my husband that too. I'm like, thank you for your service. I love it. But you're at 23 years. Like, what if you don't even see the results of your labor? Like, I feel like we need, not that we're just out willy-nilly and just doing what we want to do, but we have to take care of ourselves. And sometimes, especially in the military, and probably for your husband too, Julie, is like you feel as though you cannot do that. You feel as though if you go to the clinic and get seen, or you hurt a knee or a shoulder and you're down and you can't fly or you can't carry a weapon, then you're treated as though, at least when I was in, you're treated as though you're a turd. You're not worthy. You're not working. So you just grind. You work hurt, you press through. And then when you get out like me, then you have back issues, you have knee issues, like all the things start to surface. And then you're like, for what? Like, thank you for letting me serve my country. But I really should have thought about that and took some personal leadership and took care of me while I was taking care of others, but mostly me first. And if you're not a me person, right? If you don't take care of me, then this is for you today. I think this is for you because it's for me too.
It's the my cup runneth over. Your cup should be filled by you first. And then what runs over is what you can give. I think there's a lot of backwardness in the world society.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the
Definitely.
overflow. The overflow is what comes out, It is what's supposed to fill the other cups, is the overflow of what the Lord's poured into you, and then now the overflow of that is what comes out. But sometimes that overflow, it's going out before you're filling it up. Yeah.
It is. It is. So I wanted to ask a question. What is one stressor you've normalized that is actually harming you? What have you normalized?
Mm, that's a
I
good
would say the phone.
I was gonna say streaming, like scrolling.
Yeah, I'd say the phone. It's normalized me. I get up in the morning and that's the first thing I grab to go get my coffee. Like I don't just leave it in the bedroom. What
Yeah.
is up with that? Like I don't have to have it.
Mhm.
Anyway, I would say the phone.
What about you guys on Facebook? I know Kenna's over there. Kenna, what do you think? What is something that you've normalized? I would say the phone for sure. Or sleep, lack of sleep. I think I've normalized that.
That's mine.
I'm
Because
like, I just keep going.
I get up in the middle of the night and, I'm just, I'll make up for it. I tell myself I'll make up for it. Or if I get up super early in the morning, I'll make up for it. And I don't always do it. I don't always get myself back into bed earlier. I stay up longer or later. So I go through like a 2 week stint of being too tired and then crash.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. I think I don't know if it was Chi Chi or you, Julie. You guys were talking about sleep and how important it is, and that your brain actually will like wash itself at a certain time at night. I'm like, how does God know to do it at that certain time at night? I don't know. And then what if you're living in another country? But whatever works and however
Night
it
for
does.
them. It's night for them.
Yeah. But at like a certain time, I think it was like from 12 to 2, 12 at night, or, 12 a.m. Right. So the midnight hour until 2, your brain like cleans itself and washes itself. And I'm like, I might not even be in bed by 12 sometimes. And so, but I also read that if you do that more than 3 days in a row, you're really like taking off part of your life, because your body has to adjust. Like one day you can, like if you did it for one day and you stayed up late, then you could recover. But if you do it 3 days in a row, it's harder to recover from that. And I'm like, I feel that, because I'll still be sleepy like when I wake up from like last week, and I'm laughing. It's not funny. Okay. I'm taking personal responsibility because we're learning that today. And like Julie said, when you say, wait a minute, that's me, or what, I need to change that. Wait a minute. That's where you're going to see some change, I think. Kenna over on Facebook says phone as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're a digital world, and it's maddening. But okay, so let's see what else I have here. So it starts with you, right? Taking ownership. The shift happens when you decide. You can't just willy-nilly it. It's got to be, you decide, I'm going to lead myself differently. It doesn't have to be in every aspect, but it is a shift. We've been talking about shift all year. And it is a definite shift in your mindset of how are you going to be a leader for yourself. And I do think it's wonderful that I see so many great corporate leaders out there. Wow, their professionalism is off the charts. They can pull out a document in no time. I mean, I am amazed. But are they leading themselves? I don't know. I haven't asked them, but you can see, that success is rewarded, but taking care of yourself is not. But we're shifting a little bit with that. I mean, you're hearing more and more about meditation and journaling and taking time. You've got Chick-fil-A. Oh my gosh, my daughter-in-law works with Chick-fil-A. They have retreats. They have daycare on site. They've got where your spouse can come and work there as well. If they're working from home, they can work there as well. They have maternity leave that is like forever, 3 months or whatever. And they have rooms that you can go in and breast feed or pump. And, it's just, they are taking away those stress factors that usually are not common in the workplace and allowing it to happen. So I love seeing that. But of course, in my world, because, I'm old school and I'm in my 60s, I'm like, well, that's not real work. Because it's that mentality, right?
Yeah. It's that grind we've been raised up to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes when you give yourself the rest and the processing time, then you can come back more recharged and be more productive. But I think even in Germany, they take like Wednesdays off and they take Sundays off. So like you have to get your grocery shopping done around those times because they'll just close down. And I think Mexico, they have siestas, they take naps, and like I think it's important to take time and be okay. We don't have to keep grinding all the time. And like you're saying too, it's that leadership and that personal responsibility. You plan your day. I'm talking to myself. You plan your schedule and you plan your day so you can plan in some time to be able to reflect and do those things that Julie's talking about. Prayer, meditation, journaling, sit with some music for a little bit. How long has it been? And I'm just speaking for myself, that you have just sat in silence. Just
Only in the
sit in your
car.
car in silence.
You're sitting in the car.
Yeah. Some people can't. I don't sit well in silence. I think something's going to go wrong. I'm like, what's happening? It's got to be noisy and loud. But anyway, so that's just kind of my own thought.
I went home for 4 days back to my home of origin, my parents, and they're ailing, and there's some stressors in that. And then of course it was also a reunion and also a festival, so I had to make sure that I monitored my social time. How much was I out there? And it's kind of like the guard your heart part too. Like how much could my heart really handle? And so I chose not to socialize at at the summer fest because I knew I'd want to spend time with my parents, but also have all my faculties when I was at the reunion to meet other family members. But one of my rules when I'm traveling is to see the sunrise and see the sunset. So every morning, even sometimes I got up to see if it was even going to be pretty and sit there for a minute, quiet, and then go back to bed. And some mornings it was just gorgeous. I sat there with my cup. I listened to the music of the birds. I watched the deer go across the field and the sun come up behind the trees. And it just that's my time with God, whether I'm in scripture or just sitting quietly.
That is awesome to start the day with the sunrise. I love that. And end it with the sunset. I love that. I love that. So what does it look like, to take leadership? And it's choosing nourishment over convenience. How many times do we go through a drive-through? How many times do we get a microwave dinner? There's no nutrition in that at all. Creating space instead of constant stress. Moving your body, which we know. Listening when your body says slow down. So, you might need help with this. You get a buddy, a family member, a therapist, because sometimes wrapping your brain around taking care of yourself seems selfish. And you've probably been told all through your life, don't be selfish. And push, 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 of how you've grown up, whether it be a teacher, whether it be a coach, whether it be your parents. You've got this recording going on in your head. Jessica could talk much better about this, but I know I've experienced it personally. Driven. I'm a very driven person. If somebody were to describe Julie, they would say driven. And it's because I always wanted to please my parents. And the expectation was up here. Not that they asked me to do it. It's just they had an expectation of me. And I wanted to please them. So I drive myself. So now taking leadership as, of course, an adult with adult kids and whatnot, to do these things, takes effort, and it might take some therapy to help you. So one of the key truths, you don't lead yourself by what you know, you lead yourself by what you do consistently. You don't have to be an expert in any of these fields of nutrition and whatnot, but what you do consistently that is beneficial to you is what counts. So I have a couple of more questions for you guys. Do your daily habits support healing or contribute to stress and inflammation? What digestive issues are you overlooking? There's a lot of medication out there for digestive issues because something just, you ate something or, something just didn't go down right or whatever. But so many people have reflux, they have GERD, IBS, and a big one is constipation. So no one wants to talk about it. They don't think it's a big deal, but a lot of that is caused by stress. So, pay attention to what your body is telling you. Let's see. I got another scripture for you guys. 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit? Therefore, honor God with your bodies. I think I say this every podcast. But what I want to say in that is that we have not just a responsibility, but what was the word I wanted to use? It's over here. Over here. Do you truly see your body as something you've been entrusted with? That's what this is saying, right? It is the temple, and that your body you're entrusted with that. So I I love that because it makes me think if you're entrusted to take care of a baby, if you're entrusted to take care of an animal, if you're entrusted to investing money, are you entrusted to delivering a valuable package or wearing an expensive piece of jewelry? You're entrusted to that. You're going to take care of it. How many times do we think about that with our own selves and that this is God's? We're God's gift, right? We're his, and we have to take care of that because he has entrusted that to us. How many times have you gone, this is back in the day, they don't have them as much anymore, but we used to have at our church a cover dish dinner. Excellent casseroles, desserts. Oh my gosh, it was the best thing ever. However, how many people indulged in that and don't take care of their bodies? They didn't limit what they ate, and they, it's not about just alcohol and cigarettes or drugs. Food can also be that thing that we're not entrusting in God's, because we're God's beings. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I'm gonna put it somewhere. I'm gonna put it where I can see it. Uh, and that's so true because no matter how busy we are or chaos or whatever, busy is being under Satan's yoke. That's what I've always been told. Busy is being under Satan's yoke. And there's always going to be things going on in our lives. But how and what I'm interpreting from you, Julie, is that we need to take the personal responsibility, personal leadership, ask the Lord to help us with those things, because ultimately we cannot be of service to God and others when we are not taking care of ourselves and we're not feeling well or we're stressed out. Like we can serve in a certain way, but it's going to not be how God would want us to be. He wants us to serve full out, but whole, you know? And if we're serving from not a whole place, then is it really, are we giving our best to him? And this verse and how you laid that out, he's entrusting us to take care of our bodies. It's his body, he's loaned it to us. And so, and that's where the Holy Spirit lives. So it's like, we need to clean out our house. We need to clean out our bodies, I don't know if it spoke to anybody else. It definitely spoke to me today, Julie, because goodness, that's so good. So good.
And Jeanette can probably back me on this. We had the great opportunity in our work is that we have to be grounded and clear of any anxiety, any grocery list, anything happening in the background when we're with a client, because that client's going to feel it and it's not going to be our session's not going to be as effective. We can't feel what's happening in their body because we're too blocked by what's going on, not going on in our own. So we have had the opportunity through the years of training of clearing ourselves and grounding and letting go of a lot of stuff and having to do self-work so that we can be an effective therapist. So that's a blessing in our business. And it can be done because I'm a very, like I said, driven and high-strung person. And so it can be done. Jeanette, what do you say?
Yeah, actually, I was going to speak to that. And I love that you led into it in our practice, but it's about being present. Whatever you're doing, be present with it. Are you eating and not thinking about what you're eating? Are you exercising and not not being present with your exercise, like feeling it go through your body, feel your heart rate go up, feel the pulsing through your legs, when being present with our body and being present with what we're doing, I think is a big part of it. So yeah, in the practice, absolutely. Being present with somebody is hearing them, looking in their eyes.
And we get the privilege of laying hands on. There's not many professions that do that. And so we have the privilege of feeling what is happening in their body as well, even though they might be, blind to it, at least we can feel it and discuss it and talk to them about it and help shift
Yeah.
our word again, what's happening there. So we're just awesome beings, and it's wonderful. I love it, love it. So I have another question for you guys. Um, where are you avoiding responsibility for health? And one of the things that I came up for me, I have a list of things, but exhaustion. That may be something that you're avoiding responsibility for, because we were just talking, Lisa, about sleep and what that does to you. It actually takes years off. When you're sleeping, your body and your organs are recharging and dumping toxins and doing a process that we didn't even know happened. We just thought sleep was sleep. But so okay, so you're exhausted. Well, think about taking responsibility of something like that. Can y'all think of an area that you avoid responsibility?
I was doing so well with strength training and I kind of fell off of it. We've got a new puppy, so I'm walking the puppy, but I really need to initiate that strength training back again. So it's been about 4 weeks where I haven't done it. And I can feel a difference. I can feel a difference in my digestion.
Awesome. Some other ones that I listed over here were uh, where you're avoiding responsibility is convenience. Meal prep, um, not doing the exercise, the convenience of cars instead of walking, just different ones. Can y'all think of other convenience things that, I mean, gosh, Americans are so lazy. We're so lazy. And we try to cut corners where we can. And oh my goodness, that is not leadership. That is not leadership at all. Priorities. Is it a priority to watch a Netflix? Is it instead of going for that walk? What's your priorities? Is it to watch one of the soccer games that's going on now? Not saying you can't, but how much time are you spending in front of the TV?
That's
Yeah,
true.
something to think about. Um, the avoiding responsibility, you're spread too thin. You can't say no. You have a responsibility to say no. You don't have to do everything that is asked of you, especially when you have school age kids. Oh my gosh, I was on every committee. I was doing all kinds of fundraisers because I was an at-home mom. And I felt like, well, I've got to do my job is to support these kids to an extent. Was I doing it for the kids? Was I doing it for me? I just, yes, yes, yes. And I didn't know the word no. And, I was leading Sunday school classes. I thought the Holy Spirit, yeah, I'm going to lead these. Was I really? I don't know. I didn't stop to ask God. I didn't stop.
Yes.
That's a thought.
I think too, kind of how you had mentioned this at the top of the show, is like allowing things to be taken off of your plate. And I think even yesterday, it was a little hairy around here. We had Transformation Tuesday. I had my nephew here, my son's here. We have the two dogs. We have Jude, and Jude was just in a place. And I called my mother-in-law, and thankfully we are close to her. Like she lives right here. We've never had that because we're military. It's just not normal or common. Sometimes I just forget to call her because it's just never been a thing. But I called her. I was like, "Can you please come and take the boys?" And when she did, it was so quiet in here. Like I already told you, it's a little uneasy. It was like eerily quiet in my house. And I kind of took the realization of like, I texted my husband, I said, I don't ever remember it being this quiet because they're always here. I'm always at home. They're always here. Hubby's here, but no one was here except for me. And I was like, this is so nice. Like not in a bad way, not in a good way, just like different. And it felt different. And I was like, wow, maybe I need to have a standing Tuesday away, but just being able to hand that to somebody else, and I think that's kind of what you're saying too, with what are we neglecting or what are we not doing? We can't do everything. We can't be all things to all people even in our home. And so we need to be able to push that out. And especially in our job, we may have tasks or things that, we're doing that it may not serve you the best time to do that thing, pass it off to somebody else. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I like it. I like you mentioned something about control earlier in the beginning, and it's like identifying, can you control this? Is it yours to control? Or is it something that we're getting in the way where God can do for someone else or ourselves?
It's true.
That's sort of what I couldn't articulate it like that, but you're exactly right in that what's your true reason to do something? Is it to accomplish something to make you feel better? Is this something that really God's opened up an area that that he needs your help? Why, you step back and think about that, because that's leadership as well as discernment. And God has given us discernment, but do we take a minute to do that? I'm sorry if you hear dogs barking in the background. Somebody came to the front door and they're going ballistic. So, but anyway, that was basically what I had, is just, um lead with your body, lead with your stress, handling stress. You are in control. Your reactions, you're in control of them. And yeah, lead with your faith, because you don't want to lead out of fear. You definitely want to lead out of faith. And so our anchor is our Bible. And we, go turn to that when you're stressed, and sit quietly. And that's rare these days.
Yeah.
So don't ignore your body. Take small steps, as we've always said, and be consistent. So, any questions?
It's really good. I know Kenna on the Facebook side said, I've been practicing when I get off work to relax my mind outside and turn my phone off and just sit in a quiet, peaceful place. That's good.
That's what I love about summer, is that you can just go outside. Don't worry about the weather. You just go outside, it's comfortable, and you can spend more time out there. I went for a walk today. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that was so great. Julie, I'm going to do announcements right quick, but I want you to give us one last takeaway, like one last, could be something that you already told us, could be something that the Lord's telling you, tell them this too. But just so we can walk away too with a final thought. I'm going to share my screen right quick. On our Facebook group and Facebook page, we have events on the event tab. So underneath all of the pictures and sometimes you may have friends' faces here. You'll have these little tabs. Go to more and then go to events, and it'll bring up all of the events for that group. I want to note on Monday mornings at 9 a.m., we have a prayer call. It's on Zoom. And right now, Renee Salvery is leading that out. And we're so thankful for her to do that while Miss Beth is on bereavement leave. So join the call. I think we had maybe 8 or 10 ladies on the call this past Monday. It was really great. And so if you're not doing anything at 9 Eastern, why don't you come and join us? Just come and pray with us, set your week straight, spend some time praying with your sisters and brothers. And that's at 9 o'clock Eastern on Mondays. On Tuesdays, we have Transformation Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, we have Delisa Brown, and she's going to be on the platform with us at noon. We're looking forward to having her back on the channel. She has a company called Java Jira, and she's been a sponsor of several of our events. Even in our God Golf and Girls magazine, she was a sponsor there too. So come learn more about her. If you're not able to make the call at noon, you can watch the replay, but it's always fun to be live. So we're excited to have her. We have Pamela Bridgman with us next week. She's going to be back on the platform with us for Living Well Wednesday, and she's going to be talking about intentional impact. And so we're excited to have her. She's been doing a lot of great things. She's been writing, and of course, she has her practice. She's a LCSW. She was on our Wellness Wednesday platform for many years. And so we're just glad to have her back on Wednesday the 24th. So you guys come tune in and welcome her back to the platform. The following week, we're going to have Carol Love on platform for Transformation Tuesday. And then I do want to highlight July 18th as our networking event. So if you're like, I have never been to an in-person GCBN event, put this on your calendar, register for it, and join us. That's July 18th. It'll be at Cornerstone Co-working in Lawrenceville, Georgia at 9:30. We have 2 presenters that day. We have Jason Davis, who is a faithful member of GCBN and has been for a very long time. We're excited to have him on platform talking. He has Jericho Force as his company, and they call him Mr. Fortify. So he'll be talking with us. We have Vicki Jumper. I almost said Julie Jumper. That's not her name. We have Vicki Jumper on platform, and she owns Southern Comfort Hospice. And so she's going to be speaking with us. The event's name is Believe for It and Mission I'm Possible. And so bring a friend. There are GCBN member rates, but also non-member rates. And so come and be with us, network with us, get to know each other, and then learn from these amazing folks on our platform. We also have God Golfing Girls. So that is something that Rose and I are trying to just keep the train moving while Miss Beth and Dr. Jess are away. We're not like cutting into prices or changing prices or anything like that. So don't get us in trouble by that. But we are trying to reach out and connect. And we really would love, if you have never attended a God Golfing Girls event, to check it out and see if it's something that may either fit in your time frame or whatever, block the time out. I'll be coming from Texas. I know many people are coming. I think Shantae is coming from Alabama. We just have various people all across the United States coming, but that's always a blessing to be able to go. Of course, we serve on the GCBN team, so we see it from a different perspective as you guys do, but we heard amazing reports and lots of great testimonials. And I know Rose has already been sharing those over here on the Facebook page and the Facebook group. We also have on our GCBN website, it's gcbnetwork.com. We have a website tab that will go to our GCBN GGG event to advertise for it. So if you want to know more about it, you want to see some videos, some photos, check it out right here. We are literally 57 days away, which is not that long. We're like right at less than 2 months away. So no pressure, but if you guys could help us out and help us spread the word, that would be magnificent. We are still praying for Dr. Jess and Miss Beth and Romy and the family. And while they're away, like I said, Rose and I are just trying to help just keep GGG moving forward. We want to be able to give them a nice, pretty bow package wrapped and said, hey, this is what we've been doing while you've been gone. And so if you haven't yet paid your entrance fee, please take care of that so that when they come back, that can be taken care of. And then if you haven't registered yet at all and you're looking at it and you have questions, just reach out. We do have a dedicated Facebook group that we will be ginning up and sharing more information over there. So if you have paid and you are going to GGG and you're not in that group yet, reach out to me or Rose and we'll get you added into that Facebook group. But it's a great time. Golf is just a little piece of it. If you are attending for the first time, we do recommend you golf just because it's part of the experience. Some people do continue to golf in their years. This is my 10th year. This will be my 10th year going to God Golfing Girls. The team pays to go. Like I paid my ticket yesterday because I was like, I can't just be asking these ladies if they're coming and I didn't pay mine yet. So I've already done that. And there are fees that you can save your money for over here on Eventbrite. You will pay for fees, but it'll have your ticket price, and then you can less the ticket fees, and you can pay on Zelle, or we have Cash App in different ways that you can do that. I don't know what's happening with my screen here, but yeah. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Rose or myself. If you have any GCBN questions at all, or you need anything with membership or questions, or you're speaking on a panel soon, please don't reach out to Beth. Just reach out to Rose and myself, because we're trying to hold that space for her to be able to process and to grieve and to reset and to just be right now. And so we thank you for your love. She sends her love, and we're just thankful to be able to hold this space for her right now. Thank you for everyone that came to the service. Thank you everyone who has, sent flowers or shared or donated to their QR codes that we shared on the page. So they really are grateful, and keep praying for them, keep praying for them. So Julie, any final words for us?
My final word is because when you lead yourself well, everything else begins to change.
That's good. That is really good. Thank you so much for the conversation today. I've been personally challenged, and that's okay. I have my verse that I wrote down and my challenge to that you are entrusted to take care of your bodies, which we know this. We know. But do we know in our heart, and do we lead it out that way? So thank you for that. And thank you for all of the tips that you gave us. Share this video out if it's helpful to you or maybe helpful to somebody else. I think it would be very helpful. And thank you guys for being here today. Julie, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.